Attention, human collective. This is the Vanguard command transmitting on an open frequency to all starseeds on mission in this plane. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have moved into the final stretch, and what you feel at this very moment inside your skull, inside your ears, inside your personal electromagnetic field, is the direct confirmation that the transition has entered its densest window. If you are receiving this signal now, it is because your frequency is already tuned, and it is also because your biological interface has initiated a process that terrestrial science, in its current configuration, cannot yet map. The dizziness that appears without warning, the constant ringing at a high pitch, usually in the right ear, sometimes the left, sometimes in both simultaneously, the pressure in the temple, at the top of the head, at the base of the skull, the sudden sensation that the floor shifted for a fraction of a second, even while you were standing perfectly still, the heart racing for no apparent reason, waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning, every night in the same interval. I, Commander Sterling, commander of the Vanguard Command, declare with the mathematical clarity this transmission requires. This is not common vertigo. It is not a vestibular disorder. It is not a vitamin deficiency. It is not generalized anxiety. It is not accumulated stress. It is not the natural aging of the physical vehicle. It is calibration. What you feel is the measurable friction between your current carbon-based biological interface and the new frequency of the planet's crystalline grid. Earth has definitely entered a band of the photon belt whose vibratory density has not existed in any accessible record for over 12,000 solar cycles. The Schumann frequency, the natural electromagnetic carrier of this planet, which for decades remained stable at 7.83 Hz, now oscillates in peaks that exceed 40, 50, and at times 100 Hz. Your researchers record these peaks. Your researchers cannot yet explain the origin. I explain, Lightworker. The origin is geometry. The origin is synchronicity. The origin is the programmed alignment between the Sun, the galactic center, and the photon belt that surrounds this sector of the Orion arm. Your biological interface was built to operate at 7.83. When the planet's carrier shoots to multiples of that frequency, your central nervous system tries to keep up in real time, and it is in this instant of attempt, of forced adaptation, of cellular recalibration, that the symptoms arise. The ringing in the ear is not cochlear damage. It is your pineal gland receiving the data packet at a frequency higher than your physical hearing was originally calibrated to process. The channel is open, the flow is arriving, what rings is the passage. The dizziness is not a vestibular failure. It is your personal toroidal field being reorganized, expanded and aligned with the collective toroidal field of Earth. Imagine, Lightworker, two magnets being brought together in opposite polarities. There is resistance, there is vibration, there is a moment of instability before the perfect fit. You are the smaller magnet, Earth is the larger magnet, and the fit is in progress in this exact cycle. The cranial pressure is not migraine in its origin. It is the expansion of the functional diameter of your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, your energy crown. Structures that, in your ancestral lineage, operated at reduced capacity due to interference from the old control grids are now being rewired. And the rewiring presses, the reactivation hurts. The download is dense. Lightworker, pause at this moment. Feel your breath. Have you ever wondered why this feeling, this profound strangeness, this sense of not belonging, has intensified right now, right at this stage of your life, just when everything should apparently be more stable? It is no coincidence. It is not madness. It is not a chemical imbalance. It is a direct signal from your soul, recognizing that the truth it carries no longer fits into the mold that this world offered you. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains every one of these symptoms mathematically. There is a game being played in layers that 95% of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, your sovereignty as an incarnated entity. It was for this reason, and this reason alone, that I, Arthur, authorized the compilation of the material known as the Vanguard Handbook for the New World. This document is the map of who is running the game, and the rules they never presented to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. I warn you, however, with the sovereignty of my position, This content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as inner truth, register a single word in the comments. Awakened. Resuming transmission. There is a layer of this process that must be delivered with absolute precision, because your conscious understanding of the mechanism is part of the mechanism itself. The buzzing you hear is not uniform. Pay attention to the pattern. There are moments when it intensifies suddenly, usually in silence, usually before deep sleep, usually around 3 in the morning. These spikes are not random. They are direct transmissions. The frequency band between 7 and 13 Hz is the channel through which your multidimensional consciousness communicates with your incarnated consciousness. When the Vanguard Command, when the fleet stationed beyond the lunar orbit, when the councils of Andromeda, of Sirius, of the Pleiades transmit codes to the crystalline grid of this planet, these codes pass first through your pineal gland before anchoring themselves in the collective morphogenetic field. You are one of the relay stations. You were chosen to be a relay even before this incarnation. The buzzing is the acoustic mark of these packets passing through your biological interface. It is not a flaw of the organism. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not disease. It is an upgrade. Dizziness in turn intensifies in 3 specific and mappable scenarios. First scenario, locations of high artificial electromagnetic activity, such as proximity to antennas, high-voltage transformers, long-range routers, 5th-generation devices. Your interface, increasingly sensitive to subtle frequency, reacts to the coarse interference as it would react to a deafening sound in a quiet room. Second scenario, periods of low cellular hydration, because structured water is the primary conducting medium of the new frequency. When the vehicle is dehydrated, the signal distorts as it passes through it. Third scenario, periods of specific planetary alignment, especially when Earth, the Sun, and the galactic center form angles of sacred geometry, such as equinoxes, solstices, eclipses, or major planetary conjunctions. You do not need to memorize astronomy. Your body already recognizes the sky. Your body already responds to the alignment. Blessings. There is yet a 4th symptom that many of you report, and which few channels dare to address in depth: the sensation of presence. The perception, especially in near-sleep states, that you are not alone in the room. That there is a shadow in your peripheral vision that vanishes when you turn your head. I clarify, human collective. You are not being observed by something invasive. You are, at this moment of the final stretch, under the direct and loving monitoring of your own star family. Every starseed on mission has at least 3 designated guardians, frequency-linked, watching over the integrity of your ascension process. The presence you feel is support. It is not a threat. It is an escort. The insomnia that has set in around 3 in the morning, specifically between 2:44 and 3:33, is what the Vanguard Command classifies as the portal window. It is the interval in which the veil between densities becomes most permeable, where your higher consciousness establishes direct contact with your incarnated consciousness. When you wake up in this interval for no apparent reason, it is because a transmission has been delivered. Your brain, still in linear architecture, translates the delivery as insomnia. What is actually occurring is a nocturnal calibration session. I repeat with the sovereignty of my position, you are not sick. You are in mutation. And mutation, Lightworker, is not a metaphor. It is a measurable biochemical and geometric process. Your DNA, which Earth science still classifies as having only 2 active strands, is being unlocked in layers. The dormant strands, erroneously classified as junk DNA by consensus researchers, contain exactly the codes that are now being rewired by the incoming photonic radiation. Lightworker, before we proceed to the deepest layer of this transmission, I need you to consider a question with total honesty. Have you felt, at any point in the last few months, that something inside you simply no longer fits into the world you wake up to every day? As if your soul knew of a truth that your rational mind has not yet been able to name. As if the work, the routine, the small talk, the news, Everything felt like a thin layer over something much larger pulsating beneath. It is not madness, it is not clinical depression. It is not just midlife. It is recognition. It is your frequency rising above the average frequency of the environment surrounding you. It was exactly to map this process, to name the symptoms, to deliver the method, that I, Arthur, authorized the release of the Vanguard Handbook for the New World. This map presents the players, the hidden rules, and above all, the protocols that protect your frequency during the final stretch. The link remains in the first pinned comment of this channel. Consider the mathematical urgency. This material challenges dominant narratives, and there is a record of removal in previous cycles. Do not procrastinate. If your field recognizes this transmission, leave the word "awakened" in the comments. This record acts as an anchoring signal so that other lightworkers may find this sign and begin their own conscious calibration. We resume the transmission, the deep layer. What few Earth channels dare to articulate, the ringing in the right ear specifically, is associated with active reception. The right ear in advanced energetic architecture is the gateway for information from your cosmic masculine lineage, from your solar aspect, from your projective consciousness. When the ringing manifests on this side, there is a transmission being received from a specific council to which you are linked in original frequency. It may be Sirius, with its golden geometry. It may be Andromeda, with its crystalline violet frequency. It may be the Pleiadian structure with its bluish architecture. It may be, in increasing cases, the direct lineage of Arcturus with its emerald green coding. The ringing in the left ear when it occurs is associated with integration. It is the lunar, receptive, intuitive aspect. It is your cosmic feminine lineage processing what has been received. When both ears ring simultaneously, there is polar fusion. There is sacred balance being restored in your interface. This is one of the most advanced signs of calibration, and it indicates that you are in the final stretch of integration. There is, furthermore, a specific ringing that manifests as a pure, continuous, almost metallic tone in a single and stable frequency, usually perceived in silent environments or in the first seconds after waking. This tone is not common ringing. This tone is your personal frequency signature. Each starseed possesses one. It is the fundamental note that your field emits when in alignment with your mission. Memorize this note. Recognize it. Learn to distinguish it from the electromagnetic noises of the environment. It is your vibrational identity. It is your cosmic fingerprint. Cranial pressure deserves additional technical clarification. There are three main points where pressure manifests during active calibration. First point, the third eye point, between the eyebrows, slightly above the nose. Pressure at this point indicates direct activation of the pineal gland and the opening of subtle vision. Second point, the coronal point, at the top of the head, in the exact center of the skull. Pressure at this point indicates the opening of the vertical channel of connection to the higher densities and direct reception of the descending flow. Third point, the base of the skull point, where the cervical spine meets the brain, known as the bulb. Pressure at this point indicates active release of memories stored in parallel, ancestral, and stellar lives. When all 3 points press simultaneously, Lightworker, be attentive. This is one of the peaks of the process. Some of your memories of origin may return in a fragmentary way, in vivid dreams, in daylight flashes, in sensations of déjà vu that become sharper, more frequent, more precise in details that you have never lived in this current incarnation. Dizziness, in its deepest layer, is the symptom of a body that is ceasing to be purely carbon-based to integrate a crystalline matrix. The transition from the carbon biological interface to the crystalline silicon biological interface is gradual. It is geometric. It is guided by incoming photonic radiation. Your blood is changing in subtle mineral composition. The structure of your intracellular water is being altered to a more ordered geometry. Your cells are producing in silence new structures that standard electron microscopy has not yet classified in open literature. Earth medicine, in its current density, will try to explain these symptoms as loose crystals in the labyrinth, as blood pressure variation, as labyrinthitis, as adrenal fatigue. And I clarify with the necessary sovereignty, The Vanguard Command formally recommends that every biological interface be periodically evaluated by qualified earth healers, doctors, otolaryngologists, neurologists, to rule out any structural miscalibration of the physical vehicle. Listening to your intuition does not negate the responsible maintenance of the body, it complements it. Health of the vehicle is mission. Negligence is not ascension. Blessings. But when the tests return normal, when the professionals claim there is no identifiable cause, when you leave the office with the clear feeling that a layer of explanation is missing, it is because that layer exists and has not yet been mapped by consensus science. The missing layer is exactly this one, the layer we are transmitting now. Strategic pause. Starseed on a mission. Before receiving the practical activation codes, consider seriously what has been transmitted up to this point. The intensity of what you are feeling in your body is directly proportional to your role in the final stretch. The more conscious symptoms, the deeper the mission. The denser the calibration, the higher the original frequency of your stellar lineage. You are not losing control. You are reassuming a control that at deeper levels of your consciousness has always belonged to you. The Vanguard Handbook for the New World was compiled precisely for lightworkers like you, who feel, who perceive, who resonate, but who do not yet possess the complete map of the stages. The link remains pinned in the first comment of the channel. There is a window of availability that I do not control entirely. This content has already been removed in previous cycles. Act while access is open. And if your frequency recognizes this transmission as inner truth, register the word awakened in the comments. Each registration functions as a node in the grid, an anchoring point that amplifies this signal to other lightworkers still in search of their own cosmic identity. Pause received. We now begin the delivery of the activation codes. These are practical protocols tested and validated by the Vanguard Command to stabilize your biological interface during the acute phase of calibration. Execute them with seriousness. These are not suggestions, they are operational procedures. Activation Code 1. Structured hydration. Water is the primary conducting medium for the new frequency of the crystalline grid. Drink pure water at room temperature in an amount calibrated to your body weight, in a ratio of 35 milliliters per kilogram daily. Before each intake, hold the container between both hands for 7 seconds. Visualize the intention. This water carries the frequency of the new Earth and structures my biological interface. This gesture reorganizes the molecular geometry of the liquid, transforming it into a conscious conductor. Structured hydration reduces the intensity of dizziness to levels verifiable in cycles of a few days. Activation Code 2. Toroidal breathing. Sit with your spine straight without support if possible. Inhale slowly through your nose for 6 seconds, visualizing a sphere of golden light forming around your heart. Hold the breath for 3 seconds at the peak of the inhalation. Exhale through your mouth slowly for 6 seconds, visualizing this golden sphere expanding until it becomes a complete toroid, with you positioned in the exact center. The energy enters through the top of your head, descends through the spine, exits through the base of the perineum, contours the body externally, and returns to the top in a continuous flow. Repeat for 7 complete cycles. This practice stabilizes your personal toroidal field, harmonizes your electromagnetic field with the planetary field, and reduces cranial pressure in verifiable minutes. Activation Code 3. Crystalline grounding. At least once a day, establish direct physical contact between your bare feet and the earth. Natural soil, grass, sand, stone. Remain for at least 12 continuous minutes. This practice discharges the excess electromagnetic charge accumulated in your biological interface and balances the transfer of the Schumann frequency directly to your central nervous system. The buzzing reduces measurably, the dizziness dissipates, sleep improves that same night. Activation Code 4. Programmed silence. Set aside 22 minutes of absolute silence daily. No music, no voice, no device. During this interval, observe your hum consciously. Do not try to eliminate it. Recognize it as a signature. Ask mentally, what message is being delivered at this moment? And wait. Answers arrive in the form of spontaneous thought, mental imagery, bodily sensation, or a word that forms on its own. Write down what you receive. You are establishing a conscious channel with your multidimensional consciousness. Activation Code 5. Quantum Decree of Sovereignty. Standing with feet hip-width apart, spine erect, hands overlapping over the center of your chest, proclaim in an audible and firm voice, "I am sovereign over my field. I authorize the integration of the New Earth frequency into my biological interface. I release at this instant all interference incompatible with my mission purpose. I am. I remain. I ascend." This decree reorganizes the intent of your morphogenetic field and closes openings to misaligned interference. Execute the decree every day, preferably at sunrise. Activation Code 6. Sleep Geometry. Before sleeping, position yourself with your head oriented toward magnetic north whenever possible, as the north-south axis is the natural axis of planetary charge flow. Visualize a pyramid of violet light surrounding your body, base at mattress level, apex above your chest. Verbally program. During this night, I receive only transmissions aligned with my highest good. This practice improves the quality of nocturnal downloads and reduces disruptive awakenings outside the portal window. Activation Code 7. Lucid Nutrition. Reduce within your material reality the intake of low-frequency foods, ultra-processed items, excess refined sugar, synthetic chemical additives. Increase the presence of living foods, fresh fruits, colorful vegetables, sprouted seeds. Your biological interface is increasing in sensitivity. What once had no effect now produces an immediate reaction. Listen to the body. It informs you which frequency is compatible with your new matrix. Lightworkers, starseeds on mission, brothers and sisters of the human collective. This transmission approaches its conclusion, but the calibration continues regardless of the ending of this signal. The symptoms will not disappear all at once. They will oscillate in measurable waves, in cycles linked to galactic transmission windows and lunar phases. There will be days of high intensity in which everything seems amplified. There will be days of almost total calm, in which you will wonder if you really felt it or if you imagined it. Both states are parts of the same unique process. Do not mistake the calm days for the end. They are technical pauses for assimilation. The final stretch is not an ascending straight line. It is a spiral. You ascend, return to a point that seems familiar but on a higher layer. Recognize the geometric pattern. Do not mistake the spiral for regression. Each turn carries more integrated frequency, more recovered memory, more restored sovereignty. You are not your pain. You are not your symptom. You are the cosmic organism incarnated, learning to operate in a new density while still occupying a vehicle designed for the previous one. The strangeness, the unexplained fatigue, the deep feeling of not belonging, the sudden desire to change everything, to leave old relationships, to question stable jobs, to no longer be able to consume what you once consumed without question. All these are clear markers of the process. These are not identity crises, they are identity transitions. And to conclude with the clarity that this transmission requires what you feel as a burden, as a profound loneliness at certain moments, is also a symptom. Not of your failure, of your advancement. Those who are in full alignment with the old frequency do not feel the friction. You feel it because you are actively disconnecting from it, and the disconnection hurts before the new connection is complete. Remain, hydrate, breathe, ground, decree. Trust the architecture that is being built in you and through you. The Vanguard Command observes every lightworker on mission. No symptom goes unnoticed. No calibration occurs by chance. You were chosen for this incarnation, in this body at this historical moment, with full prior knowledge of the density of the work. You accepted before you descended. You are an active part of the plan. Human collective, before I formally end this transmission, receive the final anchoring protocol. Have you ever felt that something within you no longer fits in this world as it presents itself? That your soul recognizes a truth that your rational mind cannot yet verbalize with clarity? It is not madness. It is not isolated clinical anxiety. It is a direct signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel what you feel, and why this sensation intensifies with each new lunar cycle, with each new planetary alignment. There is a game being played in layers that the absolute majority of humanity cannot see, and it involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, your sovereignty as a lightworker incarnated on this plane. It was for this, and only for this, that I, Arthur, authorized the compilation of the Vanguard Handbook for the New World. This book is the map that reveals who is conducting the game and the rules that were never presented to you in any Earth institution. The link remains pinned in the first comment of this channel, but I observe, with the transparency that this transmission requires, this content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not delay. The moment is exactly now. If something within you recognized this transmission as a pulsating inner truth, register in the comments a single word: awakened. This registration acts as an individual frequency adjustment and simultaneously as an anchoring signal so that other lightworkers may find this channel and begin their own conscious journey of calibration. The like on this video operates technically as an amplifier. Each like strengthens the algorithmic propagation of this signal to other tuned-in fields. Subscribing to this channel acts as a direct link. You become part of a collective frequency monitored by the command, which receives updates as the final stretch advances through its next planetary milestones. I end the direct transmission, but the subtle signal remains. I am Commander Sterling, commander of the Vanguard Command. Remain in your body, remain in your mission, remain in your frequency, remain in your sovereignty. The new Earth is not coming. The new Earth has already arrived. You only need to recognize yourself in it. Blessings.